looks like we are ready to roll. So next up on deck is Dr. Iris Nicole Davis, and she's from Communication Science and Disorders, and she's going to be speaking on overcoming barriers to online professional development for early childhood educators in the age of COVID.
Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk to you about a situation that it could impact the education outcomes of our youngest citizens. Check out these headlines. You've probably seen stories like this in the news lately about the economic impacts of COVID-19 on our childcare industry. What is not in the news is the potential impact that COVID-19 will have on the professional development of early childhood educators. This is an important issue since early educators' professional development is linked to young children's education outcomes. In my study of early childhood educators' completion of an online training, I learned some things that are useful for identifying and overcoming some of the barriers in their professional development caused by our current pandemic. The yellow stars on this graphic show the areas in Florida where the participants come from. And next, I would like to share some other things about them. They are primarily female. Most were over the age of 25. The majority had completed at least one college course, and they were mostly childcare teachers and directors. And although online training is available, I found that 35% of the people in my study actually reported that they would prefer to attend an online or an in-person training. But with our little friend in the top left corner, COVID, we've had a lot of our in-person events canceled or changed to an online format. So the information I'm going to share will allow us to look at some of the barriers to their professional development when they are forced to move to an online environment. So in my study, 71% of the people use a computer of some kind to complete the training. And since the majority of them use the computer to complete the training, I looked at their computer access. And you can see that most of them did have access at their home, in a childcare center office, and half of them also in their classroom. And so next, since many of these educators may be at home or working reduced hours, I wanted to look at the age of their computers at home, since that may be where they will be doing the training. And we know that older computers may not be as compatible with our newer training software and websites. And so it was surprising to see that there were some of them that actually had computers that were over 6 years old. And so one of the reasons why the age of the computer is a problem, I mentioned the compatibility with training websites, which in my study did somewhat contribute to completion of the online training. As you can see, the older computer users, they had a little less completion than our other participants. So it definitely made a difference. And so something else that I do want to bring up, there were differences in access to the newer computers based on education level. And so if you look here, only about 20% of the people in my study had a high school diploma as their highest level of education. However, they represented 61% of the people with those older computers in my study. And so there's some reasons why this is something we really need to look at. So our early educators who have a high school diploma only, they make up one of the largest group of early educators. And they're also more likely to have lower wages, participate in some kind of public support program like food stamps, and they may also work a second job, which may limit their ability to have the time to complete training as well as the funding to buy updated equipment to complete training. And so something we could think about doing for this group during this time is to provide them with newer devices that they can use to complete training. We might also consider supplementing their wages by providing them a stipend as an incentive to continue their professional development. And they may also use some of those funds to continue to purchase new equipment. And finally, I just want us to remember the reason why this is such an important issue. Our early educators educate our youngest minds who will be our future leaders and citizens. We know that the quality of care they provide is linked to their training. So let's ensure a successful future for our little ones by making sure our teachers and